Hello, car lovers. Hope you're all doing well. So, I have come to the KHT Jeep download in Bangalore, and you can see quite a number of Jeep compasses around me. And this is actually the Meridian, and that one, the red one, is the usual Jeep compass. Now, I would say you could see something peculiar behind. See this one. This is actually a cut section of the same Jeep compass you see. So you could see on the right, you could see there is a red compass. This is the actual car, and what they have given on the left here, this one is actually the remove. They have removed the body and provided a cut section of the car. And I also got to know that this is the only piece of cut section that is available in the whole of India. It is only available in this showroom. And that seems to be a very important part because you get to know a lot of highlights on the safety components they have used, the kind of materials they have used. So you can see this red and green kind of components. Those are painted individually. That is actually shown there to show the highlight the kind of safety components and the kind of materials they have used in this. So I'll start with the front. So you could see the green portion highlighted over here. So this thing, what they are telling is, this thing is actually an aluminum material that has been used in this particular art, and this is actually given here for the impact collision. What they are terming Jeep is actually, it's a rugged kind of rugged on-road and an off-road SUV. That is what they are defining it as. So this green portion, it's made of aluminum. So in case of an impact, what happens is the kind of this material actually folds inside, and that will actually minimize the level of impact that is going to the engine room as well as the passenger cabin. That is what it is provided there for. And okay, the same thing will be highlighted in the rear as well. So that is what they've given it over for. And you can look at this one, these red elements here. So these red elements are almost at many parts of, you can see the inside too. Those are the doors, and those are you can see the B pillar here, the A pillar, as well as on the rooftop, in the roof rail. So what happens here is that on the outside, the white is actually the body of the vehicle, the actual body that is touchable from outside, and this is actually the high strength steel that they will usually use. Apart from that, the inside of the frame comes with something that is called it's actually called the hot stamped boron steel. What is this? Is actually a material of very high structural rigidity. So that way, making a frame out of such material will actually give the vehicle its the tank-like feel you have inside. Usually on the Jeep, when you step in and at the time of driving it, you can actually feel a kind of structural rigidity. That's what I'm talking about, and also it helps in structural stability as you cruise in high speeds or things like that. That's what they have used that for. Alright, at the front I will show you something which is quite interesting. You could look at this one. This one. I'm at the driver's seat now. So just behind the wheel, you can see this is the part that they are calling it as it's made from a magnesium. It's a component made of magnesium composite. So what this one does is actually in case of a frontal impact, a very high impact, and the impact is so strong that the force happens to come all the way till here. If the impact travels all the way till here, what happens is this part, unlike any other vehicle, this is different and it's actually created to disintegrate. In case of an impact that travels all the way till the driver, till the wheel, so this part will actually disintegrate and it will break. So if the whole frontal part of the vehicle is traveling towards the driver, disintegrating this part might be of better safety at the time. Adding to the safety that we cannot say at the time of an impact, all of this will actually count. Look at this one. So this cover over here, this is actually for the airbag that they have given. I'll show a closer look. So this is the airbag, the front passenger airbag, and this one you can see, this is a shaft that runs all the way through the dashboard, and this is also what they are calling as a single shaft. That's also made of a particular material. And apart from that, I would like to show you this one. This is the inner part of the car. So this is the passenger seats. Actually, this is where the passenger seats go on the rear. Rear seats will be here. So below, you can see throughout the floor, where the legs go there, and this is below the passenger seats, as well as at the rear. You can look at that one. That is actually the rear wheel, upon the part of the rear wheel, and here also you have it. So all of these blue elements highlighted here. Also, that is a cut section of the spare wheel that I'll come to you shortly. even below that we have that blue sections over there. So what are these blue sections for? These are actually the acoustic baffle zones that would actually bring down the NVH levels of the car. And needless to say, this is a 4x4 car. So in order to bring down the noises that would generate outside, from the car, they have given these baffle zones there so that the passenger inside would not have so much noise getting to them. They can sit there, quite, they get silent. They'll get a silent feel inside the car. Yeah. And apart from that, I will show you this one. See, this is something quite interesting. Okay, this is something very interesting that I have found. You can look at this one. You know, this is a cut section, a cross section of the whole spare wheel that they have provided here. And this is the rubber of the wheel, and this is the alloy. And talking about the suspension system of this car, it is actually something typical that they have given here. Here, right side and the left side are kind of partially independently moving. So that would give, for example, if the left wheel, jumps over a pothole, the right wheel doesn't have to bend with it. It stays mostly stable. That is how they have given. So usually they have kind of unlinked them. I would say unlinked cannot be a exact term, but in order to make it understandable, I'm telling you. So they have made it kind of independently movable. So coming back to the frequency selective suspension, what happens is that they have these sensors that would actually sense the kind of surface of the road. So the kind of roads you are driving on is being sensed, and what happens is these sensors send the feedback to the suspension system, and they will give the feedback as to how much it should move. Each wheel has to move. The suspension, how much will it move up and down, that is selectively given for each wheel. That way, what happens is when you run over a pothole, or if you are riding through a very rough surface or undulating surfaces of bridges, usually. So at those points of time, the passengers won't have the bumpy feel mostly. They would have a very smooth kind of ride inside. And I feel this is really, really a kind of a good approach towards demonstrating this safety system they've got. Needless to say, but I'll still mention this is the 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo engine, diesel engine that they've been using, and it also comes with a torque converter that is actually coupled with it. And you can see this would provide actually around 170 bhp of power and 350 newton meters of torque, which is quite comfortable for a ride with the diesel engine, I would say. Okay, and I will show you the other part of the car here. This the other side. All right, I don't know what this is. It's kind of, I don't know, but all right. Anyway, this is how they have given the car. This is with the doors coming in. Yeah. So that is what I just had to show you regarding the cross section of Jeep Compass, and I'm quite excited to have got an opportunity to show you this part. All right, and until next video, like me, subscribe, and share this to someone who would like to see this video.